And it should also portray some kind of information that you're trying to give it to the audience. Like yesterday, I was showing that those color, patches, wherein a lot many things were mentioned, but we were not able to understand and comprehend. And then when you give color codes, then a little bit of meaning comes out, and then if you structure it, then there is a further meaning that comes up. So uh, that's also another thing which we also need to understand, that when we are designing a PowerPoint presentation, those messages should convey. So as I mentioned yesterday, so the slide should be talking about what the slide is all about, and what is the why we require a trainer for it. So trainer has to do a value addition or talk more about whatever is mentioned in that particular slide. So that should be the thing. Like I've seen a lot of people, putting the entire text, whatever that the trainer is supposed to talk, on the slide, which is a no-no. You cannot keep so much of text on the slide, right? And there are a lot of people who keep on reading the slides. Even that is a no-no. We should not be reading slides. Slides is a visual impact for the audience. That's not your trainer notes. Trainer notes are separate. In case you want to have a cue card, so I've seen a lot of people also carrying cue cards, and by which they just kind of get some idea. Okay, this is the topic. Or at times, you can do bullet points and you can put it on the slide itself. So looking at the heading and then you elaborate on it. Right. So that's how is the correlation of a slide and a particular presentation that we are trying to do. So the 10 points, out of the first one, it says identify one core message. So the slide should have a particular message. So like for this particular slide, it says that how to eat your vitamins, and then there are some color codings and everything. So it's very clear. By this you can understand that they are talking about the methodology or something about vitamins. Like in this slide you can see there are 4 or 5 things here, but you can see how beautifully it has been designed, and look at the color combinations and other things. So there are some picture which they have put on the right hand side, and if you see there are 4 different pictures and they are overlapping into each other. So normally what we do, we will try to put all those 4 pictures and all distinctly, but that will take a lot of space. So if you're overlapping these things, so even if the parts which you're trying to show, that is visible. Like the glass of milk, even if the little bit is covered on the top right hand side, but still you can make out it's a glass of milk, right? So similar to other things. So that way, that combination of different colors and overlapping each other also makes a visual impact. Proper heading is there. Vitamin B2, what is it? What it does? Some information, and then you can see there are 4 different points which is mentioned, which says that these are the 4 things which will actually, which has vitamin B2. So milk is one of those, lean meats is one of those, green vegetables is one of those, 45 cereals are one of those. So it's got pictures over there, and if you see, they have made a band out there, and it's like protruded outside. So it's there's a difference. So clear cut difference between this particular panel and the behind one. So this yellow color was not needed. They could have also given it over here directly. This yellow band is not required. This particular band. They could have given this one on this grayish thing itself. But then the presenter would have thought that this is something that I want to highlight in this slide. So that's why this yellow band is actually making a difference in that particular slide. And that's what normally trainers should do. I'm just trying to pull that screen behind me so that there's no disturbance on the thing. Okay. So this is also another method by which you can have a lot of stuff and still make a lot of distinguishing between the background, the foreground, and what is it that you want to showcase. So basically here, what you can get from this slide is that people are talking about vitamin B, what it does, and what are the information that they want to give, that these are the things where vitamin B is present. And very beautifully, they have the color combination, other things they have done. So that was the first tip, that the message should be very much clear, and whatever that you want to highlight should be highlighted in a proper way. So tip number 2 is eliminate info which does not support the core message. So as I was saying earlier, there are a lot of people who make these kind of slides, which is again a no-no in terms of while doing a visual kind of a presentation. And what the trainer will do, the trainer will start reading all those things. So point which we're trying to say is that, as we mentioned in the first one, that it should have one core message. That's it. Balance. We are not saying that delete everything. Keep it in the trainer notes. Don't keep it on the slide. If you want to, talk about it, talk about it. But don't display everything on the slide. So, like for this one, if I have to find out that what is the one important message that I want to, keep and eliminate the others, so maybe all this thing is not required. Only that one is required. So again, it depends on, that we remember you used to do précis writing in our school days, or some kind of highlight. So it all depends on which one you want to keep. Completely on the, presenter as he wants to decide. So over here, this is what the actual information is, and the balance things are not required. So you can take it off from the slide, not required to be put in the slide. And you should have some kind of detailed description. So some background information, some trivia can also be given, or some redundant statements or some phrases can also be put on the slide. Some common interest or common knowledge information can also give. Like for instance, like yesterday, while Anupriya was presenting, she started with mythology, Rama and Mahabharata and everything. So that's a common knowledge kind of thing. Everyone is aware of it. So if you use those things in your presentation, it will pull a lot of attention of people. So that's also another thing. Maybe you can put some facts and figures to quantify it, or to maintain, like in for could be a sales presentation or anywhere, or any kind of graphs or anything that you want to showcase. So that's also another method of doing things. Then some examples, some pictures, some impactful quotes. So these are the things that can be put on a slide. Tip number 3 is use text to reinforce and not repeat what you say. So what does this mean? This means that over here you can see that it mentions here that ways to collect data, and there are 3 bullet points. And on the right hand side, if you see, they have given some nomenclature in terms of the pictures and other things which are reflecting that particular thing. So the third point, which is use Google search and hacks. So they have given a Google picture out here. Similarly, access academic sources and repositories. For that, they have given this scholar kind of a face, with this hat and everything. Now, to conduct your own research, so this is the symbol they have given. So what we are trying to say here is that this right hand side picture was not required in the slide. If you just have this text, this is okay. But in order to make it more visual, because as we discussed yesterday, that visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile, different methods of learning. Now this is completely visual. So since it is visual, we need to have less of text and more of pictures and other things, which will make it more vibrant. So even if you are just running through, suppose at times it happens for a trainer that you don't have much time to spend on the slide and you are running through the slide, and you might be spending only little bit of time in the slide. So for an audience to read this entire stuff might take little time, but just looking at these pictures, people will be able to comprehend what you're actually trying to say. So it'll help you in dual way of having a little bit of pictorial representation and also a little bit of text to balance that particular way of things. So tip number 4, it says that offer one major takeaway per slide. Now, what is this takeaway that we're talking about? Maybe some kind of tip that spread over your information over multiple slides, which means there are some questions will people ask me that I have a 10 minutes presentation or maybe a 20 minutes presentation. How many slides should I have? So the answer to that is completely depends on you as a facilitator or as a trainer. Because in 20 minutes, whether you want to present 200 slides or you want to present 20 slides is up to you, depending on how much you want to elaborate and everything. So there is no hard and fast rule on that if there is a 20 minutes presentation, then I need to have 20 slides. No such rule. It completely depends on how much you are comfortable to present in there doing things. And why does it say that you can spread to over multiple slides? Reason is there is a tendency of people to accommodate everything in one slide. So it says that do not do that. Don't clutter the slide. Rather, you can spread it over 2-3 slides. You can create hyperlinks also if required. So that you just click. If someone is asking for elaboration, then you click on that, then it elaborates. Otherwise, let it be squeezed. So you don't clutter the entire slide. So, or you can use multiple slides for it also. So that's also another thing that it says. So core message, as we said. Like for this one, this is also another very beautiful way of putting things. Look at the color combination. It's not completely blue, but there are patches of blue, and in that also, if you see changes over time or by location, as is mentioned. So what is the message that the trainer or the presenter is trying to highlight in this particular text? It says changes over time or by location. So which is the word that the presenter is wanting us to get attracted?
Changes.
Yes, changes. And that's the reason it's put in a different color. The other one is also visible, but it's also blue. So सबसे पहले आपका नजर वहां जाएगा. Your attention will get attracted there. So that means here the presenter is talking about changes. That's the main focus. So that's the core message. Changes about what? Then you read changes over time or by location. And to depict that, he has given these different pictures on the left hand side. Right? So these kind of slides are very beautiful slides where you have less text, more of pictorial things, and there's a color combination that we can always look at. Similarly, this one, comparing categorical data. So there are a lot of data here, and comparing is something that the person is trying to highlight. Over here, you can see again another beautiful way of putting things. So children and adolescents, between the age of 2 and 19. So what is the message that they are trying to showcase? They're trying to showcase that 1 in 3 are overweight or obese. And if you see that 1 in 3 is colored in a different color. So what they're trying to show is that normal color is this. And if you see, they have made this bulky also. They've made a little round here, which is a differentiator between this one and this one. Right? So this bulky thing out here, the round one. Correct? So very little way of putting things and how beautiful it looks like. Right? So obviously, when we are actually trying to design a content, we actually have to think that what is it that we're going to portray, and accordingly, design those slides in such a manner. Even this one, little more text, but it's so neatly done. So Americans' children's habits and lifestyles. You can see 50%, 40%, and what is it that they are trying to focus? So toddler. So there's a television. There's a watch behind that. So this side that is some activities of sports or something like that. So preschool. So what they're trying to depict here is that how and what they're highlighting. 40% is highlighted, 50% is highlighted. Right. So very beautiful way of putting things. I find Shashank smiling. So if you can share the reason of smiling, then we'll also kind of resonate with your smiling.
And it's not related to this. I just got a thing from my mom and I was thinking perfect timing. That's it.
Right, right. All right. So does these things make sense? The kind of things that we are showing right now to you, Shashank?
Yeah, the PPTs do, definitely do.
Right. So these things you can utilize in your sessions or any kind of presentations that you are making for your organization. So you can think about these things. Even this one, you can see the main crux message is all about this different types of eating the French fries and vegetables and other things, and how color coded they have done this. The small packet of French fries this side, which is showing that this is what we're talking about, and again 25%, 75%. So they could have also given a graph here, but they have not given a graph here. Just by, if you see, if this entire thing is 100%, so they have taken this 25% and colored it a little different, and this one is 75%. So not putting the regular graph or a pie chart, but this way also they're trying to differentiate. Another beautiful way of putting things. And what are we discussing? We are discussing that core message should be very clear. So here the core message is very clear on this particular slide. Then at least create as many slides as I mentioned earlier. So there's no hard and fast rule like that. So tip number 5 is use visuals to highlight the core message. So how do we do that? Little examples I have already shown earlier. So let me show this thing. Like over here, you can see again they have not used a graph. This slide is actually a graph, but they have not used a graph. By 40%, 23%, 20%, 12%, they have used thumbs, thumbs up kind of a thing. And if you see the ones which are there, that's highlighted, and this one it's a little shadowed. So giving a very beautiful way of putting things. So another creative way of making a slide and looks such neat. This can be also done in bar chart or pie chart or anything, but that's a regular way of doing things. This is a little different. That will catch the attention of people. Similarly, this one you can see, as I was saying, that what happens if you have too much of text, and you have to keep that much of text in the slide. Like this particular slide has got so much of text, you can see. But even if it has got so much of text, you can still distinguish. And this format is called a timeline format. So in timeline, if you see, so those are 2002, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. So those are timelines. So what happened in 2002? LinkedIn was launched. What is LinkedIn? It's a business and employment something which is mentioned out here, right? Similarly, Facebook was launched in 2004. What is Facebook? It's an online social media thing. So in 2005, YouTube, this Twitter, Tumblr. So by this, you can understand that when it was launched, and what is the ingredient, and what is it all about. Too much of text here, but you can see that how they have beautifully color coded it, and also there's a difference between one particular item to another item, and everything is such a neat and clear here. So just imagine if this was not done this way, and this was done in a traditional manner. So on the left hand side we write everything, and on the right hand side we keep on writing bullet points. How jumbled would have been this looked like? Can you, if you do this in a traditional method, isn't it? So all these things on the left hand side, then you write Facebook, and then you write two lines. Then you write 2004, another thing, then you write two lines. This entire thing will get jumbled up. But here it is looking so nice that way, right? So you may this one organization structure, wherein they have done it in this manner, even in a color coding manner and different things. This is the normal graph that we normally use. Pie chart, putting it in a different manner and then showing it in a different manner. So tip number 6 is use progress slides. Now what is progress slides? Progress slide is nothing but these kind of slides are called progress slides, where you have some material on the left hand side, and then you got some details on the right hand side. There is some in a traditional method of doing things. So like this one, so you can either put bullets here, or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can write things out here. Now over here you can see if this is traditional, how does the trainer or the facilitator highlight a particular thing? Suppose there are 4 points in this, and we are talking about those 4 points. Okay, so there are a lot of mic announcement happening outside my house. I think that's might be disturbing a little bit. It'll pass away. Right.
Okay, so let me take it up from there then. It's election time, it seems. Yeah. So basically, so that is what. So now, if you really want to put some interesting, things in that, so this is how you actually create, with one title, and there's 4 points, and you can also highlight these points also, right? So Partha, if you can move in, see there, see it's a highlight that happens, that traction is becoming bold, right? So that traction becomes bold, so you can actually highlight this point, so that what exactly you want to say, that gets highlighted in the entire PowerPoint. So you have 4 points, 4 bullet points, and 1 point which you really want to put in. That's where you get that bold thing that comes in. Okay, so that is what you can do, right? Let's move on. And in the next, here you see there is something which is very interesting. If you see all these templates or the structures that we are showing, you see there's not much of a complicated text. It's either one bold sentence. So here we are using a quote. So using a quote, and you're actually the title is, the quote is emphasizing the title. What I'm going to say, that particular quote is emphasizing. As a trainer, as a facilitator, as something, if I want to present it, what I would do, I would not really tell the quote, because obviously the quote is very much visible. I would say what is the perspective of mine along with this quote, that is what is there in this particular slide. So this is again another beautiful way of actually emphasizing something which you really want to make an impact to the audience. So that is so moving on the next.
Yes, so I think I can take over now, so that thing is gone. So that's an advantage of having a dual trainership, right? So one trainer is stuck, then other trainer can take up, right? So advantage that way. Anyway, so right now over here you can see, now the presenter is now going to talk about milestones. The 3rd point. So the 3rd one is highlighted. So previously we were talking about traction, so the traction was highlighted. So this is also another way that you can either make it bold, or you can color code it, or in animation there is a way that you can dim the animation and you can highlight another one, or you can enlarge one particular thing. So over here you can add animations to make this one enlarged, and these things will get shrinked, right? So that way what will happen is it will be there in the background, font size will shrink, and this particular milestone, the font size will increase. So you can add up animations to do that also. So again, another method of highlighting a particular slide while you are discussing. Again, this one is a milestone kind of a slide, different milestones happening at different times. So January 2011, web app was launched, so this much of revenue. October, this happened, this happened. So this can be used in various departments, in HR also. If you want to showcase what happened in the last 1 year, and you're trying to plan the future, so this one slide will showcase your particular department. Similarly for sales, and other departments can also show these things in a different manner. So again, you can use up your creativity and other things to move up these things, and colors and other things. So what we're trying to show here is that if this information is put in this traditional method of bullet points on the left hand side, it will show a lot of text. But what you're doing here is you're spreading the text across, and placing with little bit of icons, so it is looking good. So PowerPoint is all about making it feel good. The little bit of storytelling is another thing which you can add up to the PowerPoint, right? So over there, there are various methodologies and other things. So Lakshmi Madam has attended our storytelling session. So in case others are interested, we have a dedicated storytelling session where we get more deep into the delivery and other parts of storytelling. So again, another way of doing things, and you can put, so this bulb is looking at some kind of energy or some kind of things and other things. Like over here, you can see this was highlighted. Now the next thing, this is more about utilizing your brain and other things, because it's saying what did you know, right? So this is getting highlighted, like this one. So this is like the comments kind of thing. So this is getting highlighted. So by this, you can also change the way that the slide looks like. All right, so tip number 7. So you can use different kind of text and then color and weight to emphasize a particular thing. Like out here, every slide should have a particular focal point, is what they're saying. Like for this particular text, you can see again there is a lot of things which is mentioned on the slide. But again, would you want people to read so much, or would you be reading so much? Answer is no. So then how do you do it? So then maybe you can just, if you are still want to keep the slide, keep it, but then the one that you actually want to highlight can be underlined. So by this you can understand and successful and prioritize. These are the things that the facilitator is trying to portray. Or you can color code it also. So this is color coded in a different color. So that way it will stand out. Or this one maybe. So this presenter is actually trying to highlight on self-efficacy. So self-efficacy is colored in a different manner, and the font is also different. So it is standing out from the entire thing. So over here you can see that this pictorial view is showing so beautifully. So this is a picture of a hospital. This is a picture of an ambulance, and we are trying to show that how to save a life foundation kind of a thing. So do you want to save a life? So again, a campaign kind of a thing, and very nicely done with the color and other things. So this blue one is kind of showing a particular area or a road, and similarly the yellow background is also reflecting the other part of it. And these are normally the fonts which are globally accepted. Uh, apart from this, there are two more which are very popular in India. That is Arial and Calibri. So Arial and Calibri are very popular in India. But for apart from this, so these are the 6 fonts which are very, very popular and worldwide accepted. So you can use any of these which are normally professionally used. Other fonts are there, but then those are not professionally used that much. So tip number 8, make consistent design choices. So what are those designs that we're talking about? So this is another way of dividing the slide in a very horizontal manner. So the pictures are on the top and the text is on the bottom. The same thing can be done since this is in a horizontal way. So what we can also do is we can use filters to give the dimension of this. So in this you can see the background of the picture is about an office, But then we don't actually want to show the entire office. So there is a little bit of layering which is done on top of it, little bit of greenish and bluish kind of a layer. And business growth proposal is what the heading is all about. So by this also you can create an attention to the particular thing. So that was the horizontal one, and this is a vertical one where you can see that in a vertical manner, they have separated the slide. So one side is this text, the picture is in the middle, and the left side the heading is. So why I'm showing these things are because these things are little new, little different. The traditional method of doing things is this heading would be over here on the top, and this material will be here, and these pictures would be on the top or towards the left. But here you see the presentation is done in a different manner. The entire left side is heading. In between there are pictures, and the right side is text. So it gives a different presentation view altogether. Another format of doing things, small pictures, and different other things. And then this is a comparison between this and this. So there's this versus kind of a symbol which is given here. So tip number 9, it says, let's have some alternative slide layouts. Now, what does that mean? It says that we can also create a flow of slides in this manner. So this can be used for some, matchings or versus kind of a slide. So this versus this. This is the traditional one that we normally use. This is a staircase kind of a format which we normally can be used. So you can keep text here, and then you can keep picture here or here on the right side. This is another way. You divide the slide completely. You can put some picture or heading out here, and the text can be here. And so different methods of doing it rather than doing it in the normal traditional way that we do. Now this slide, you can see there is too much of text. If you look at the slide, there's too much of text. But even if there is too much of text, it is so beautifully arranged. So what they have done, they have broken the entire slide into 4 different halves. So the bottom ones, there's complete text. On the top, they have put some picture, and the heading is also reflecting out there. So this is again another way of looking at 2 different aspects at one time. But just imagine if this was done in a traditional method. Then you cannot put 2 headings on the top, right? How do you do that? Not possible that way. And again, so much of text. How do you fill it up? So another very good method of doing it in this way, and look at the background color also that they have used to distinguish the difference. So this was on a vertical kind of a separation. This is a horizontal kind of a separation. Same thing, but in a different manner. Although this has got too much of text, but still it looks better. 10th one, it says that the color filters can be used to stand out. So like for this one, if you see the background, there's this flight, and then there's this buildings and everything. And on the left hand side, you can see there's some text written there. Now, normally what happens is if this thing is projected in a very big format and you are looking at it, सबसे पहले आपका नजर लेकिन उस flight पे जाएगा. So your eyes will get attracted towards that flight and the sky and the this buildings. But that is not the intention of the presenter. The presenter does not want your focus to go to the flight. The presenter wants you should look at content, strategy, and presentation, which is mentioned on the left hand side. For that, what you have to do, you have to dim the background, or you have to use filters so that the background is blurred. So how do you do it? You use filters for that. So this is how you do it. So if you see here, if I add a filter, this is how the color changes. See, so this was the previous one. This is a filter which has been added. I'll tell you how filter can be added. Right. So this is the one. This is how it is. So what is happening is the background is becoming a little blurred. So and if you see the difference between this and this content strategy presentation is highlighted. See, look at the difference. So your attention will go there. The attention will not go to the flight. So again, another method of trying to get attention. Again, these are the different methods of filters and everything. So there is this lady. There's a picture out here. There's some other pictures on the background, but it is blurred. So the attention will not go there, although it's there. And then you can use different multiple screen, colors and schemes to pick it up, and then have different ways of doing things. And it's recommended that we should not be using very dark colors because it's not very soothing to eyes. Always, if we try to use some light colors, it's better. because it's soothing that way to use. And also we should not be using very fluorescent kind of colors, because at times what happens is if you are transferring from one PC to another PC, the resolutions of all desktops and PCs are different, and if you project it, maybe at times the resolution color also changes. It could be orange in your desktop or laptop, but when it is projected you will see that the oranges become yellow. So the fluorescent colors are something which are not recommended to be used in a professional thing. Right, so that's about the different do's and don'ts of PowerPoint and on the designing aspect of a content, right? So that's it about. So I see Anupriya has joined in. So Anupriya, any questions on this, or maybe you're aware of this?
I was aware of,
Acha.
uh, but yes, I think filters is the revelation for me today. The entire whatever like 20 minutes I've heard, filters was the thing that is
Right, right,
going to.
right. So Abhiru's prediction has actually worked, because we were a little apprehensive to which one to start with, because we didn't want Anupriya to miss out on anything. So Abhirup said that you start with this one, because I'm sure she would be aware of a few things of this. So even if she misses, doesn't matter. Right. Yeah. So Lakshmi Madam, questions, or Shashank, any questions? Anything that you knew or something new that you learned?
Uh, see, so Partho, if you allow me, like I have one question. So I know that these templates look good, but creating these templates could be a little tedious. So either you need a source wherein you can get these clip arts. That's where the key lies. As in, ye sab we have seen, and I know I could create them. Like you've given me ideas, I could create them. But my problem lies with that either I have a paid version of Canva or I have a paid version of ClipArt Access. So how can otherwise I have access to all these kinds of ClipArts?
Right. So you have actually answered to what you said. So these things are all available, and obviously at a price. So ready-made templates are also available. I think currently it's around 1,000 rupees or something, which is in the market right now. I mean, if you convert the dollar into rupees, so you'll get some lot of such templates. Uh, but then the point is, it's always good to have ready-made stuff. If you're in a hurry or something like that. Like yesterday, also I was showing that there are ready-made slides which are available in the net. If you want to use those, or rather you can create your own things. Like for Canva, as you mentioned, Avirup is very good in Canva. I know what Canva is, but I don't want to use Canva. Why? Because I find that my creativity gets limited when I use Canva. Why? Because in Canva there are ready-made templates available. So I find that I'm not able to do things the way that I want. So give me a white canvas is what my thought process is. So I always prefer to make posters in PowerPoint.
What
So
has
I take a
happened?
white background and I keep on adding things.
What has happened with me is that because I could not get those small clip arts to create PowerPoint to my liking, I had to shift to Canva. At least I'm saving time.
That's
That
true. That's true. That's true. So it's completely depends on your requirement and the way that you want to do it. Otherwise, these clip arts are also available. Some free clip arts are available in Google, right? From where you can pick up. You can whatever that you want. You can just write that and write a clip art to it, and then
free clip arts is no copyright issue, is it? Because I have done that on my Canva presentations also a couple of times.
hmm.
But I hope there's no copyright issue on that, is
See,
it?
it is said that whatever is available and downloadable should not have copyright issue. Why? Because it's giving you access, so anyone can download. Second
Yeah.
is in these things also you will see there are some watermarks on various things. So the ones which are watermarked are copyrighted, so you cannot use it.
Okay.
Right. So try to get some which is not watermarked and downloadable. So anything which is downloadable is allowed. Is what I can understand from a layman perspective.
So I
Right.
think
Otherwise,
the key now is to create a bank of such things which can be used in presentations, right?
right. So before you joined, we were just discussing. Like we also have a course on PowerPoint, which is completely focused on PowerPoint. So it's a 6-hour module, that we do it on a 2-day this thing. So 2.5 hours one day and 2.5 hours another day. And we 3 hours and so that we complete 6 hours kind of thing. So if you want to learn more into it, then you can also get into that. However, I'm going to show a few more things today on how you can improvise on the PowerPoints and other things and create a lot of things. And there are a lot of quick things that I'm going to show which will be helpful to you people. So I just go to open up one of
There
the.
are a lot of free downloadable templates also. If you search Google, if you keep searching, you would find downloadable free templates. It's just that you need to keep searching. So
Right. So what I'll do is I'll quickly share my presentation slide out here, and there's a normal one. So I'll try to start from the scratch, a little bit of giving you understanding of something called a slide master. So Lakshmi madam, aware of slide master, or Shashank aware of slide master?
No.
Or Anupriya, I'm sure Anupriya would be aware because she deals with a lot of content and everything. I think Anupriya has got busy, I guess. Anupriya, aware of slide master?
I have used it at a point of time, yes.
Okay. So can you help me?
No, because I'm out of practice.
Out of practice. Okay. So good. Then let me show it to you. Fine. Okay. So slide master is normally required to create a discipline on your slide. Right. So give some guidelines to a particular slide. So what we'll do is open up any PowerPoint. Then you go to view. Okay. Go to view. In view, you'll see there's something called slide master here. Right. So just click on slide master. Now, as the name says, it's the master of all the slides. So we'll go to the master. The master is the bigger one. So you go to the bigger one. So normally it will open up this way. So what you do is you scroll up and you go to the bigger one. Okay, so go to the bigger one. So once the bigger is done, so this is says, master titles title. Now here you can create a lot of discipline to this. Now what do I mean by discipline? Suppose over here you see, I'll go to home tab. So this is Calibri Light and it is 44 font. So suppose I don't want Calibri, I want Arial here. So what I'll do is I'll select this. I'll go to Arial. Right? And I don't want 44. Maybe, I want a little bigger. I want 48 here. So I'll do 48 here. Okay. So what is happening by doing this? I am defining that all my headings should be Arial and all my headings font should be 48. So this definition is created and that is how all my slides will be like that. Similarly, about the body part. Now this body part, this is showing Calibri body. So if I'm okay with it. But if I'm not okay with the font size 28, maybe I'll increase it. I'll increase it to 32. Second level, maybe I want to reduce it to 20. Now third level, I don't want Calibri. I want my Arial back. Whichever way. So what I'm doing is, जैसे हिंदी में नहीं बोलते हम बांध रहे हैं. So मैं पूरे slide को बांध रहा हूँ the way that I wanted. So all the new slides will have the same thing that I'm doing right now. So that's one way of using slide master. Second is, if you want to have some kind of information which should come on every slide. So you don't have to do copy paste to every slide. So what you can do is there is this footer out here, right? So if I want that our website should come here, so I'll do www.gripconsult.net. Right, so that's the website. So I'll make it a little bigger maybe. Right, so I'll make it a little bigger for people to see. Right. And if I want to, change the color of this, suppose, so I want to make it red or something, or maybe blue. Right? Maybe I'll keep this color. And there is something called, which is the date out here. And there is also a counter slide here. That's slide number 1, slide number 2, this place. And there is a date out here. Like over here, you can see the date is showing, right? 2/11/20. 2021 it's showing out here. So if I want all these things to feature in all my slides, I have to do it in the master slide. So it will feature in all my slides. Right? So let's go back and see how it looks like. So I'll go to view and I'll go to slide master and then I'll close it. Okay. I'll close the slide master. So I'll close the slide master. Now I'll come back to my previous slide where I started. Now suppose I want to add a new slide out here. So I'll take a title and content slide maybe. So I'll take that. Now over here, if I click, you see it has changed to Arial 48. Why? Because I've made it Arial 48 out there. So, it is showing the same way. Similarly here, you can see this is Calibri body 32. It was earlier 30. So I changed it to 32. Now this will remain in all the slides. So if I go to the next slide also, if you see out here also, it's the same. See, it's Arial 48 and over here it's Calibri 32. Why? Because this is the discipline which I had created out there. So it's following the same thing. Now I had also given that particular www.gripconsult. It's not showing here. It was supposed to be there, but it's not coming. So there is something else that I need to do. And I also need to, there was this date which was showing there. It's not showing here. But then I want the date to come here in all the slides. Then what do I do? So what I'll do is I'll go to view and over here, if you see, Abhirup, you have to tell me this what a particular thing. I approximately I forget every time. Where is that particular thing? I think in design. No.
Inside.
Which one you're searching for?
Inside a footer, right?
Yeah, footer and all those things.
Oh,
So
footer. Okay. This would be, there it is, header footer.
Header footer.
Yeah.
Right. So I go to insert and then I go to header and footer.
To all slides.
No, not all slides. I have to check this date and time. So this is unchecked. That's why it's not coming. So I have to put a check out here. And here, if I want to change the format, then I can change the format. Suppose if I want to do this 11th February 2020, so it will come. And again, slide number, right? So you have to check on this, then the slide number will come. Footer, I have to check on this, only then the slide now it will come. And I'll type out here www.gripconsult.net, right? And then if I say apply, it will get applied to only to this slide. If I say apply to all, then all my slides will be like this. So I'll go to apply to all, right? And see, Grip Consult has come, the date has also come, and the slide number has also come. So I'll just increase this so that people can see this. I'll just increase the right. So this is the footer. On the right side, you can see the number 3 is showing here. Right? 3 is showing. That's the slide number 3. And on the left hand side, you can see the date has come. Now, if I go to another new slide, there also the same thing will come. If you see here, see the date has come, Grip Consult has come, and this has also come. Right? So this is a discipline that you can create by using Slide Master. Right? So it helps in creating those disciplines. Then at times we also use our logo. There are many times like Dr. Dabas is associated with ISTD, so maybe we have to put ISTD's logo in all the slides, or maybe I want to have Grip Consulting as a logo in all the slides. So for there also you can use a Slide Master for helping. Otherwise, what will happen is you have to copy and paste those logos every time in this thing. So what I'll do is maybe I'll take one of those logos and yeah, so right, so I've taken the logo, and so suppose if this is my first slide, so I pasted the logo out here, but then this will only showcase in this particular slide. It will not show in these slides. Right? Why? Because this is something that I pasted here. So suppose you've got 100 slides, you cannot keep on pasting this logo in every 100 slides. Then how do you do it? So again, we'll go back to the Slide Master to bring in that discipline. So go to View, go to Slide Master, go to the master one here, and in the master you put the logo that you want, and wherever that you want to place it. You want to place it here, you want to place it here, aapki marzi. So suppose, I want to placing it here. And you can see as I have placed it here, it is showing in all the slides. Look. But this is slide master. So let me go out of slide master and see originally wahan pe dikha raha hai ki nahi. So I'll close the slide master and you will see it has come in all the slides. And this is, you cannot move this. This is engraved. You cannot move this. You cannot select this. If someone wants to delete this, not happening. Because it's got engraved within the slide. It's not there. And if you want to introduce one more slide, you will see automatically it is going to come. See, it is coming. I go to some other new slide. See, it's coming. So this is there. So in all the slides, this is going to come. Right? So another good method of using slide master, by which you don't have to do repetitive things every time to do those particular things. Now here you would have seen that I normally use these grid lines. Very much useful to design things and to align things, because suppose I go to insert and over there you will see I'm sorry, not insert. Okay, so what we're trying to take this thing is that okay, so let me ask this question, since Anupriya is also good in content and everything. So how do you think this grid line can help, and why it is important to have grid lines?
One is bringing in symmetry. So I have an OCD. So I need to see whether things are aligned properly or not. And presentations will look good only when bullet points are aligned. When you put those clip arts, they should be aligned. So
Correct. Absolutely correct. So suppose, I'm inserting some kind of picture or something maybe. So Lakshmi Madam, this is how you get pictures. So you go to insert out here, and in the insert, you can see there is something called pictures here. So this is, once you click this picture, from here you can get a picture. If you want to, put in a video, so on the right hand side, there is this video here. You want to add an audio file. This is the place where you can add an audio file. You want to record this entire conversation, everything. So there is screen recording here. It will start recording the screen. Right. So these are the features that you can use. Right. So simple thing, picture. I'll go to click on picture, and maybe there are so many pictures out here. So I'll take my friend out here, and I'll try to insert those pictures. So this is one of my friend's picture, so which has come in out here. So what do we normally do? So these are all different shapes and sizes. So these are all different shapes and sizes. So normally what will we do? We're going to resize it. So what I'll do, I'll try to drag this, isko chota karenge, and try to bring it here. Maybe I'll also try to shorten this. I'll try to shorten this. Shorten this. So there are 4 different pictures. Now, if I want to align these things on a proper way, then my grid line is going to help, right? So ekdam, I can place it on the grid, right? And then
how to get the grid lines? I forgot.
Yeah, so grid line is very easy. You just have to go to view, and in the view you can see grid lines here. So it's checked. So if I uncheck it, grid line is gone. If I check this, the grid line is coming back. You can also check a ruler if you want. So, you can see those centimeters and inch coming up, so that, you can also count that, okay, what is the distance that I want to keep between those things. So that is also possible. So guides, what guide will help is, if you see, guide is like a latitude, longitude. You can see there's this line going straight it is cutting the slide into 2 halves. This is vertically, and this one is horizontally. So that way also, it gives you an understanding of exact 4 equal halves. Right? So if required, you can check it. Otherwise, you can check it off. So here, you can put it out here. You can put it out here. So then you'll get a perfect kind of alignment, so that. And the beauty of the grid lines is that when you're presenting, this grid line will not show. So if I'm doing a full screen out here, see the grid lines vanishes. Grid line is not there. But if you are actually going back, it will again help you. Now the point is, if you see these 4 different pictures, the pictures are in different shapes and sizes. So then how do I get a proper size for all these 4 pictures? So there are 2-3 ways of doing it. So either I can, try to size it in a similar manner. So maybe if this is the size that I'm going, looking for. So then what I'll do is I'll try to take this out here and I'll try to, match that particular size. But doing this and spoiling the image. Why? मैं इंसान को मोटा बना दिया. Isn't it? Because I'm dragging. Similarly, if I want to shape this one up to the same size, I will squeeze this here and I'll bring this here. But then again, my friend is becoming fat. Similarly, for this one also, if I want to use this, right? So I can drag this here, drag this here. So now I've got a perfect size of all those 4 pictures, right? But then I have distorted my friend. Why? Because मेरा friend को मैंने मोटा बना दिया. Because I have pulled it from different angles and definitely does not look similar. But at least it looks better. Why? Because all those 4 are now symmetrical. That way. But I have destroyed the image because image को मैंने खराब कर दिया. So then what is a better way of doing it? The better way of doing it is, I'll go to the next slide where I have got all those 4 pictures, which I had got earlier. Right, so I will select all these pictures. So I'll select. So what I'm doing is I'm just hitting on my control button on my keyboard, and I'm selecting each of them. So all my 4 things are selected. Now what I'll do is I will go to I think design. Format. All right. So I'll go to format. And in the format, there's something called a picture layout, right? So in picture layout, if you click here, it will give you different shapes. Now you can select any of those shapes from here. So suppose I want this one. So I select this one. And did you see what happened, piche? So this was like this. And if I select this one, did you see what happened, piche? So what is happening is, this is exactly cropping the 4 pictures without distorting the picture and also allowing me to type some text here. And these are all equal sizes pictures. If you see, all equal size of pictures. So another very beautiful way of doing things, where you can exactly get the kind of picture from which you are trying to use. So my friend is also not getting distorted, and I'm getting an exact way of doing things. If I'm not happy with this, I can go ahead and change it also. So maybe I can take this one, or I can take. So this is also a beautiful one. So over here, if you see, this has got a perfect 4 out here, and it's also allowing me to use some text out here. Right? So another very beautiful way of doing things. So rather than distorting my friend, I can use it in this manner. So now suppose I want to add some color to it. So that's also possible. Right? So I can take any of these formats from here, and it can add some color to those. So I can use to do this, I can do that, or I want to make it 3D. So that's also possible. Right? So different shapes and things. I want to add some color to it. So those color combinations are also available in whichever manner that I want to do it. So it can keep on changing these things. So what I'm trying to tell here is that these are different methods of beautifying your content with very less effort, because this has a lot of effort to sizing it in this manner, and this is very quickly you are sizing it, and perfect sizes and perfectly placed. Another quick thing which I'm going to tell you people is, like suppose I want to take this particular picture, okay, and I'll take it to another slide maybe. Okay, so this is my friend, and you see there's some background piche, something is mentioned there in some institute, something. Now there is a method to remove the background in PowerPoint. So Anupriya, if you're aware, then you can let me know.
I use remove.bg.
Okay, remove.bg. Okay, that's a fantastic tool. But then you're actually going out of PowerPoint. So if PowerPoint is already there, so you're already working in one software. Why do you have to go to another software to do those things, right? So what I can do is I can select this and then I can go to format, right? So if I go to format, there's something called remove background here. So I click on this and see what happens is some portion has become pink and some portion is it's remaining the way it was earlier. Now what happens to this pink portion? Anything that is pink will go away, will vanish. So if I click outside, see the pink portion is gone, right? But then I don't want only the face, right? I also want the body. So I'll go back and I will try to get his body back, right? So I'll extend this. So you see there's this plus out here and there's a minus out here. So plus is to keep things, minus is to remove. So I want to keep his shirt. So I'll click on this. I'll bring my mouse out here and from here I'm going to pull it this way. And you can see his shirt is coming back. Correct? So now I also want to get his little bit of hair which is gone away. I want to get that back. So now it is perfect. Now if I click outside, perfectly cropped. Sorry, perfectly, the image has been done, right? I have to be a little more, I have to use my mouse in a much more better way so that, these small things will not be there. So it will, or barik se wo ho jayega. So I was trying to do it in a little bit of hurry. So maybe that's why it is coming this way. Correct. So another very beautiful way of doing things without, moving out of PowerPoint that you can do. Another thing that I'll show you people is that over here, suppose, I'll take the same picture for an example's sake, maybe. I'll take a blank one, so it becomes easier. And I will remove the grid also, becomes easier to see. Okay, so I'll take his picture once again, right? And on the top, there's a lot of space out here. I don't want to keep that much of space. And I want to do away with this area. So what do? We can crop, right? So for cropping also, we don't have to go anywhere. It's available in PowerPoint. So you can select this, go to format. On the right side, there is something called a crop out here. So you can click on crop and take this one and you can crop it this way. Right? Another very beautiful way of, using your PowerPoint and, using your pictures and cropping it away. And if you want, the crop can also have different ways of cropping. How? I'll show you. This was the square, crop that I was doing. What you can also do is, if you want different shape of cropping, you can go to the crop out here and you can see crop to shape. Over here, whichever shape that you want, you can take up. So suppose I want this round shape, okay, this round one. I'll select the round one and look at how it is going to crop. It is going to crop in the round manner. So I get a complete round one, right? So whichever shape that I want, I can do it from here. So suppose, I want to give it to maybe this one, this diamond kind of a thing. Or so I'll take the diamond one. See, it is cropping in a diamond shape. So it's completely in your hands the way that you want it. So in this, now that the picture has been cropped in the circular fashion and you want to give some depth to it, then you can get into format and you can choose from any of these designs. So there are a lot of designs which are available here. From here, you can choose. So see, it's changing. So it's framing up. You can see in the behind, it's changing. So there are a lot of frames which you can add to it. Right? And then, you can beautify things in a different manner. Like for this particular picture, you can see this is framed. It looks very nice when it is framed, isn't it? And in framing also, you can use whichever frames that you want to use. Maybe this one. This is also looking very nice. Right. So some techniques, some tools which I thought maybe I'm going to share with you people, which are going to maybe you can use them while you are designing your content and designing your PowerPoint. So I thought of sharing those things, and I can see some little bit of smiles, and Shashank is completely no smile at all. So right. So what do you think? Helpful? Right.
Very much.
Right. So now I'm going to do a sales pitch. In case you want to learn more, please join my PowerPoint session class. Right. So all of you are welcome in case you want to join and learn further on this. And there are a hell lot of things that you can do in PowerPoint. I know to design and the ones that Anupriya was also saying that those things are also possible. Animations, में बहुत कुछ animations में आप कर सकते हो. And nowadays a lot of things are possible in animation. You can get a एक झरना बहा सकते हैं, लोगों को भगा सकते हैं. Lot many things are possible in PowerPoint these days. Right, so those animations are the things. So very easy to do it. You just have to learn one by one. So interested, then you can get into that session. Where I talk more about the understanding of these advanced features of PowerPoint. Right. Yeah. So we were talking about content designing yesterday, and today also we spent almost little more than an hour to understand how we can design the content in a much more better way and get benefited out of it and have the discipline into it, so that our visual impact can be done in a much more better way, is what I wanted to tell you people. So Lakshmi Madam, you wanted to understand our pictures, so I hope it has got some understanding in that way. Super. Right. Okay. All right. So maybe I'll ask Abhirup to also now talk about a little bit about the different tools by which we can.
I was thinking of having a quiz.
You're having a quiz? Okay. Quiz on PowerPoint?
No,
Oh,
too much of heavy. 1 hour of too much of content.
okay.
Let's have some fun.
Okay. Let's have fun. Okay.
Okay. So what I would
anyway, which was serious.
sorry.
I'm saying Shashank is looking very serious, so let's have some fun now.
So what I want all of you to actually go to this site called slido.com and type this particular code 28653. You would land up in a quiz. And let's play the quiz. So let me first. What do I have if I start? Oops, okay. Wait. So can you go in or you can't go in? Can you guys enter?
It says there is no active event. Am I supposed to enter hashtag 28653?
No. So I was trying to, okay, let me do this. Right. Okay. So now just try it now. Just try it now.
It still says there is no active event.
It still says it's not activated. Okay, just 1 second. So 28653 is not coming. I thought just try once again, just refresh. It's not coming, Shashank?
No, it still says there is no active event.
Okay, no active event.
Anyway, doesn't work for even Lakshmi Madam or Anupriya?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Okay.
Ideally, it should. So anyway, just let me try it again. Okay, so now let me then find something. Okay, so I think that event got, so let me So let me get into the what I was trying to show so that all of you can actually do and play together. Okay. So now what we are talking about is an online engagement. So this is something which we call is Slido. Okay. Slido.com is an online engagement tool. It's a technical. So what all you can do here? So there are a lot of things you can do here. So you can actually, so the let's say you can do I can practice to the end date. So there it comes the code and I schedule the event. Okay. Now what I'm supposed to, all of you can see my screen, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So now what are the things you can do in Slido? You can actually have a multiple choice. You can create a word cloud. You can create a quiz. You can do a rating scale. You can also tell people to type in text to a question that you want to have. And also you can do some ranking of how, kind of a poll that is also there in Zoom. Okay. So now let's say if I want to play a quiz. Okay. So let me start doing quiz. So let's say, give me a question.
Where was the light coming from? Moon, Earth, or Mars?
Okay, so let's say I add one question. So uh, so now I add these questions. I put the right answer. I enable timer, so you can enable 20 seconds or 25 seconds, whatever you can. And also you can, so that's where you save. So you can also add another question. So let's add another question. Uh, okay. Right. So let me have, I hope I made this right. And I can also have a leaderboard out here. Okay. So now say I have two questions. Now what I will do, I will launch. So once I launch, okay, so now here I will present. And once I start presenting, now you try and log into this particular quiz. I'm sure you would be able to log in. Just try and see, go to slido.com and put 81250. Can you log in? So it'll ask you for a name. Yeah, so that's where Sashanka came in. So you can see Anupriya is logged in.
I'm not able to.
Ma'am, go to slido.com and just type 81250. I think you should be able to log in. Just type slido.com in the browser. Others also can log in. Deepika, whoever is there. John is logged in. Okay. On Lakshmi ma'am.
Yes, it's going round and round. Let me. I'm
Or
just
then
trying.
you might have a network issue there.
Yeah.
You can do it from your mobile also. If you are in laptop, you can, yeah, you can just go to your mobile browser, just do slido.com and you can have 81250. Okay. So now like this, your rest of the people also joins in and then you start the quiz. Okay. So now when you start the quiz, you would see here, there is a start button. Can you see the start button, which my thing is there, right? So now if I will start the quiz, the questions will come up to the browser. So you have to tell the audience that you have to select in the browser the questions. Okay. And I have given 20 seconds. So it is about fastest fingers fast. Okay. Fastest fingers first. Lakshmi ma'am,
Abhirup, is it 81240?
81250.
Okay. Yeah, done.
Okay, so let's wait for a couple of seconds till Lakshmi ma'am joins. Okay, is it? Have you joined?
Yes.
You have put in your name, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
there it is. Ah, Dr. Dabas is joining. So we have
Mm.
5 people now. Great. So now let me start the quiz. So when I start the quiz, the question will come on your browser and you have to answer in 20 seconds. So what goes up but doesn't come down? Okay. So you should be knowing the answer because I put the answer there. I don't know if you have observed that. So let's see how many could answer. So that's a so here is the timer that goes in. This is the and you have to keep talking as we talked about the dead air. So even if you're running this quiz, you have to keep talking and keep people engaged and motivated. Okay, fine, come on. That's second. Okay, fine, this finished. And so 60% people said age and 40% people said river. And so let's see. And now you can actually show the leaderboard. So here is this leaderboard. And here we can see Sashank has done it in 0.06 seconds, Anupriya 13 seconds, and that's how the leaderboard comes. Okay. Now let's do the next question also. So that is the answer. So then you show the answer, and then we can move into the next question. So this is the next question. What is the full name of Partha or surname, whatever it is, right? So again, 20 seconds. Well, so okay. Okay, so now here it is. Now, okay, everybody got the right answer. Okay, so then I click, I show the right answer and I show the leaderboard and let's see now what there's a change. Okay, so that's how. So now just because we had 2 questions. So it's around 5 to 10 minutes. If you get around 10-15 questions, you can really energize the participants through this particular quiz. It's a very now the only problem with this kind of tool is that if people are not very tech savvy, they would be not be able to log in. There'll be a lot of questions and a lot of time will get wasted. So choose your audience when you're playing these kind of activities with tools. Okay. So how did you like Slido.com? So this was one where you can do quiz. You could also would have done, others like you could do, you could also do, you can also have analytics. But if you also want to do something, so you can again from scratch, again, you can have a new one. So you can also have a word cloud. So all these things as I showed. So I showed you the quiz. You can also have a word cloud. For word cloud, we have another very interesting tool, which is called Mentimeter, which I will show you to right now. Okay, so there are various things to do. Play around Slido.com. It's a free version, unless until you have to, and it runs up to 100 participants. So I think it's fairly good. Okay, so if you really want to upgrade, so you will have what happens. So up to 100 participants is free, unlimited audience Q&A, and 5 polls per event. Okay, so that's only for polls, but the quiz and all, you can go up to unlimited questions as well as quiz is concerned. Right, so it's when you say polls and all, and there is a time you cannot run multiple quizzes at one point. So there are a few restrictions, but works well. I mean, I've done this for a number of times for in various forums, so it pretty works. You don't really have to buy. It's a free tool. Use it, free to use. So you can definitely use this in your online program and get people really hooked on to. People get really pumped up when these things come and the leaderboard comes in, right? So how did you like this tool? Good. So it is called Slido.com. Now, let me now move on to another interesting tool, which is called Mentimeter. So does anyone know of Mentimeter?
Yes,
So do I need to show or you people are aware of
we
Mentimeters?
know.
So
We
I
know.
don't need to show Mentimeter. Great. Super. So
Shashank, you're aware of?
Ji?
Are you aware of Mentimeter, Shashank?
Yeah, I know Mentimeter.
Okay, all right.
So Mentimeter has few limitations, which number of questions are limited, number of polls are limited. The only good thing about Mentimeter is actually the word cloud, which is you can actually do. The rest of the stuff or doing presentations, etc., becomes a bit difficult in Mentimeter because it has a lot of, unless until you have a paid version, it really restricts you. So for me, I primarily use Mentimeter for the word cloud. Otherwise, I generally don't use Mentimeter. But I love Slido. Slido also gives a lot of options as far as this thing. There is something called Kahoot also. I'm sure you people know about Kahoot. Do you know about Kahoot?
Yes.
Right. So Kahoot also is actually a good quiz platform, but again, it has its own limitations as far as your. So where did it go? So it has its own limitations of again number of people whom you're going to sign up. Again, this is more of an educational tool. So if you're have schools and bunch of kids whom you're teaching regularly, then it has a lot of options again on an upgraded version, so for school, for work. But then again, for the free version, it has a lot of limitations, so it might not work much as far as the free version is concerned, right? So these are the couple of online tools I wanted to show you, slido.com and Mentimeter. Now, how many of you are aware of all the features of Zoom?
Don't know.
What is this? Yes, no, maybe.
Things I know a lot, but I don't know if it is all.
So what are the
Not
things that
sure.
you know in Zoom? What are the
Not
things that
sure.
you can do?
So there's a virtual poll. That's the latest update on Zoom. I know about that.
Poll was always there.
I don't know. So yes, polls is there. What else?
Yeah. Anything else you think? Do you know like breakout rooms, how to make breakout rooms, all these things you know? You're
Yes.
aware? Sashanka, you're aware of how to conduct breakout rooms, how to do breakout rooms?
Not really. I don't use Zoom much.
Actually, you
I
don't use Zoom much. So what is primarily what you use?
we normally use Teams.
You use Teams. Okay. So yeah, so Zoom has the breakout room facility. Teams doesn't have the breakout room facility till now. So all of you are aware of the breakout room, and are you? So do you know? So now, since we are all talking about money, so do you know how you can get the registration done? How you can get people to register to your event? How you can gather people's contact numbers, email IDs through Zoom registration link?
No, no.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me go to Zoom out here. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, so let me share my screen and let me go to Zoom. So you have to open the browser in Zoom. You have to log in. So this is my account. Now, obviously, Zoom, you only if you have a paid account you can do. But in the registration part, you can always do. It's free of cost. The breakout rooms are all only part of the paid version. You cannot do that in your non-paid version. Otherwise, the polls and all are available. Now, what I was saying when you are registration. So let's say when you're. So I'm sure you are all aware of how to schedule a meeting, right? So let's say I'm going to schedule a meeting. You can all see my screen,
Yes.
right? So now let's say you are scheduling a meeting. So that's the easy part. You can also create templates if you have regular thing that is happening. So you can actually create a template. So let me use a particular template. So let's say ICAN Launchpad series. So the moment I use the template, so everything kind of comes in the description. Okay, this doesn't have anything written. So this is the webinar that we used to have online. So this has the template. See, let's say you see here, everything is written. So I don't have to write. I've already created the template. It comes like this, and you set the time, everything, and then you click here, registration required. Okay. And everything remains the same. So you save, and now your meeting is scheduled. Okay. Now, once this is done, so this is where the page will come in. Once this page comes in, you go down here. Now here you see there is 4 options. Now this is something which is very, very important if you're going to do your own sessions, even for organizations, if you want to use Zoom, in case you're using Zoom for your organization. So here's the registration, there is email settings, then there is branding. Now this branding is something which you can actually post your content, your logo, and that will, when the person opens the registration link, they will be able to see your branding. Okay. So this is for your branding. You can obviously add your polls here. Now let's get into registration. Now, once you get to registration, you see there is something called edit. Can you see
Yes.
this edit button? Right? Once you click edit out here, you see there is called questions.
Hmm.
You will see there is questions, and here you can have the entire thing, whatever you want the person to fill up. Okay. So name, address, city, postal code, province, phone, industry, organization, job title, number of employees, question, comments, everything you can capture. So this registration link itself actually becomes your data collection unit. And whenever you are actually launching any program online, if you're launching any program online, if you use this registration, so you would already have the data of people who are actually registering for your program, right? And this is how you can actually capture the details. So anything else you would like to know in Zoom? So there are very important, there are very interesting stuff. So you can use a lot of reports, how many people join, how many people stayed for the meeting. So those reports can be used in the settings. I think you people all know virtual background, all of you know
Yes.
how to use virtual background, waiting room. So all of you are aware of all these things. So annotations also you're aware, whiteboard you're aware. So I'm just checking, so in case you are not aware of anything, so chat. Okay, making co-host. Great. So since you know all these things, then I will do a stop share. Okay, so now Teams. So Shashanka is going to guide me for Teams, right? Now, so Lakshmi ma'am, you were asking yesterday that how I can have a whiteboard in Teams, etc., right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so let me show you that. So this is my Teams setting. So let me start a meeting. So I will say meet now, and let me put off my camera. Okay, so here is my, so can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
So this is the meet. So this is Teams. So this is where, so let me mute it. So that was Zoom video. I put it up, right? So here is your Teams. Now, if you see Teams, can you see this share tray, open share tray? Now, when I click this open share tray, like Zoom itself, it is coming. So whatever desktop window, I don't have files. So now you will see there is a whiteboard.
Okay.
Can you see a whiteboard out here?
Yes.
When you click the whiteboard, that's where it loads the whiteboard, just like Zoom. And you can do exactly what we do in Zoom. It's just because Teams is very heavy, it takes a bit of time. But see, you can type, you can add text. So you can drag and hello. So it's very fancy though. It's Zoom is not this fancy, but Teams is pretty fancy. Hello, ICAN. Okay, so there you can see I'm typing. You can have colors, change colors. You can, this is eraser, so you can erase. It's not erasing for whatever reason, I don't know. So all these things you can do. So you can also have a note sheet, add note. So you can type a note here. So this is also, so this is something which you can do. So nice options. So you have, so that's where you can do that. So that's, I don't know how to get rid of the stop presenting. So now I stop presenting. So it goes back. So here also there is something which is your virtual background also is here. So I don't know, it is not showing it right now, but Teams also has a virtual background because now I am using the video. It's not taking the virtual background. But when I log in, there is also so if I show you out here, so I got out again. Let me go inside. So here somewhere the virtual background comes now, since the camera, my camera is not using it's not detecting the camera. So here is the, so in Teams also you can do a virtual background. Rest are all same. Typically, if you do your chat participants, you can hide participants, or you can see the participants. You can have your chat, show hands. So yeah, I mean, fairly that is what you can do. I mean, not much. You don't have anything that is called breakout rooms or polls or anything. Nothing of that sort. You can do it in Teams. That's primarily in a Zoom feature, right? Okay, so that's about it. Anything else? So we talked about Slido, a quiz, which I think you people did not know, so that was good. Mentimeter, you people knew. Zoom, I showed you how you can actually register people online, and we also talked about the Teams background, etc. Right? Now, when we talk about online delivery, now there are certain things which you have to understand when we come to delivery or facilitation online. And the primary aspect of online facilitation and delivery is about engagement. Now, if you are not being able to engage people, it will be very difficult for you to connect with people. Now, how do you engage people? What are the ways you can engage online? Options.
Quizzes like the Slido quiz.
Okay, so you have quizzes, fair enough. What else?
I think the simplest way these days is to ask. So what all presenters do is to ask participants to type in the chat box.
Okay, what else? So if you have those lazy guys, what else you
Raise
can do?
hand. Raise hand. So there's a raise hand. There's a give emoji. Whatever emoji that you want to give.
Okay.
Zoom. So these options are all for Zoom. I don't know about the other tools.
Emoji, no, there is in Teams, not much in Meet. Meet has chat box. Meet, you can raise hands. There's no whiteboard in. So there's something called Jamboard, but it's very cumbersome. You really can't use Jamboard.
I was about to ask about Jamboard.
Yeah, so Jamboard is quite cumbersome. I have not used much, so I would not, but I kind of figured it out. But
Because one of my son's tutors use
yeah,
Jamboard. So
yeah.
that's why I
So
got
family in
curious.
school they use Jamboard. Yeah. So for Meet, that's the option that you have. So you can use Jamboards. What else you can do to engage people from a delivery standpoint? How would you engage? You're on mute, ma'am. Lakshmi, ma'am, you're on mute.
Some kind of an activity, ask them to do something.
What kind of activity?
Like we show a picture and then ask them to form a story or something, or one person tells one line and then there is a chain and we web a story on it.
Okay, what else?
Story chain.
I've had event MCs run play the music and ask participants to dance and do a jig.
Okay. Okay, since Anupriya's kid is calling mama, so let's do. So call your kid down. We'll do an activity. Can I have all the videos on, please? Call your kid. Call your kid. Bring him in camera.
Uncle, आपको बुला रहे हैं uncle. इधर आओ. Uncle is calling you. Come.
Okay, can I have all the videos on, please?
Uncle.
Everyone, video on, video on, video on. We'll do a quick activity out here. So this is how we energize. Okay, let's have Avik, video, video. Video. Anupriya, you can't replace your kid, huh? You also have to be there. He plays alone, you play alone. Okay, where is Dr. Dabas? Deepika, are you there? Can we have the video on?
Uncle,
Great. So now this is what we need to do. Okay, so so I will now tell a story of Beam, Bam, and BD. Okay, what is the story I will play? Beam,
Bam,
Bam,
BD,
and
BD.
BD. Okay, Beam, Bam, BD. Now, what is Beam? Beam is this. Do. Beam is this. Bam is this. And BD is this. So Beam, Bam, BD. Okay? Beam, Bam, BD. So Beam, Bam, BD, BD, Bam. Beam, Bam, Bam, BD, BD, Bam. Beam, Are Shashank, do. Beam, Bam, BD, BD, Bam. All good? Understood? So Beam, Bam, BD, BD, Bam. Beam, Bam, BD, BD, Bam. Can I have all? No mute, no mute. Everyone, nobody gets on mute. Now everybody unmute. Now let's have some noise. Okay? So Beam, Bam,
Beam, bam,
BD, BD, Bam.
bam.
Beam,
Beam,
bam,
Bam,
Beam,
BD, BD, Bam. Beam, Bam, BD, BD, Bam.
bam.
Bim bam,
Beam,
bim
bam,
bam,
beam,
bidi
bam,
bidi bam.
beam, bam.
Bim bam,
Beam,
bim
bam,
bam,
beam,
bidi bidi
bam,
bam.
beam.
Bim bam, bidi bidi bam. Bim bam, bidi bidi bam. Okay, guys, thank you so much. So this is something which you can do, and there are various. So this is something which I'll tell you very frankly, we used to do in my offline programs. It had a different version of offline. Now online, this is something which we entirely converted this energizer to an online mode. Okay, बच्चे को अच्छा लगा? You had fun? You had fun? You want to do bim bam bidi bidi bam? You want to do it, mama? Bim bam bidi bidi bam? Do it, mama?
Yes.
Yes, right. Yes, super. Okay, bye. Right. So these are, so this is one kind of energizer. There are, so other kid also doesn't want to have lose the fun. Huh?
Other
Right. So now we would also now to try and show some magic. Partho, you want to show a magic?
I don't know whether it's magic or not. Avik is looking at like this. It's actually not a magic, but then, I can certainly, look into it and show that to you people. But then it has got a little bit of mathematics, so you people have to calculate few things, right? So you might have to get your calculators or maybe notepads, to calculate few things. So in case you are ready, then, I'm going to show that to you people, and then finally we can, talk about those things. So it's basically a puzzle, and I would want you people to either open up your calculators or maybe your, notepad, so that, you can do a little bit of hisab kitab, right? Okay, so I'll maybe wait for a little bit for Anupriya to get concentrated. Yes, right, she's there. Okay, so what we need to understand is you have to think about a digit which is between 1 to 10. Sorry, 1 to 9. So think about a digit. Now you're thinking, you're not saying that to me or disclosing it to anyone else. Don't put it in the chat box also. Think about a single digit number between 1 to 9, or you can write it in your notepads in whichever way, and don't disclose that to anyone else. Right? So hope you have done that. Now, once you have done that, I want you to multiply that number with 9. Right? So Lakshmi madam, I want the video to be on, and people who are already playing this, maybe John and Dr. Dabas, Deepika, if you're there, because we're going to miss the fun if in case, we don't have our videos on. Yeah. So Lakshmi madam, John, I would request you to switch on the video, please. Right. Yeah. Thank you, John. Where's Deepika? Deepika is there or she's gone, I guess. I think Deepika is gone. Okay, anyway, fine. So, Lakshmi Madam would require you to switch on your camera, please. So maybe she's not around. Anyway, fine. So let's proceed. So we have understood about a single digit number, which is between 1 to 9. And whatever number that you selected, please multiply that with 9. Okay. So once you multiply that number with 9, then what happens is either you can get a single digit number or you can get the result can be a 2-digit number. So suppose it's a 2-digit number, then I would request you to add those numbers. For an example, suppose my result after multiplying with 9 is 24. So 2-digit number, so I'm going to add 2 plus 4, which is 6. Right? Yeah. So Anupriya, did you get it or shall I repeat? Huh? Okay. So I'll repeat once again. So first we are trying to find out any number that is between 1 to 9. Okay, आपने सोच लिया, जान लिया. Once that is done, you multiply that with 9. You'll get some result once you multiply that with 9. So that result could be a single digit number. If it is a single digit number, then it's okay. But if it's a double digit number, then you'll have to add both those double digit numbers. So suppose that after multiplying, you get a digit which is 24, maybe 24. So do double digit number. So you have to add both those numbers. So 2 plus 4 is 6. So you get a single digit number once again. Lakshmi Madam, shall I repeat? Or you
No,
got
no,
it?
I've done it before. Yeah.
You have done this before? Okay. All right. Super. So now that this is done, so all of you would be having now a single digit number. All right. So maybe Anupriya has also done this. She's also smiling. I can't hear you.
I'm guessing everybody in this audience must have done it.
So now, have you done that? Okay, she has done it. Okay. Not an issue. Not an issue at all. All right. Fine. So Shashank, have you done this?
Yeah.
Okay. So no point doing this. Everyone knows the answer. Right. So what is it that happens, Shashank, at the end?
I figured that, the answer is always going to be 9 for this step. I'm not sure I don't remember what happens next, but this is a mad trick.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about Anupriya? What have you known in this?
So there are various styles in this, and there are various versions of this one. So someone will stop here, someone will take it to another 3, multiply by 3 or subtract 3 or something like that. So there were various versions of this one.
And then what happens? What happens in the end?
Eventually everybody gets engaged. There is this, even if people figure out, they're all engaged.
So the end answer will either be the same number we started with.
Yes, everybody gets, whatever number you are imagining, the answer is the same for everyone.
In this case, I'm guessing we might also end up with 1 or some other fixed number.
All right.
The next.
All right. So let's proceed with this. Whatever you're saying.
Let's play the
Let's
game.
proceed. Let's proceed. Because whatever you are saying is a different thing. Anyway,
Okay.
so let's proceed with this. Now, Lakshmi Madam might be aware because she has done many of my programs, so maybe she is aware. But I don't think Shashank and Anupriya, you have been able to engage this. This is something different. Anyway, let's proceed. All right. So now we've got, the single digit number with all of us. Now, once you've got the single digit number, then it's okay if you got it. So whatever number that you got after adding or multiplying with 9, please subtract 5 from that number. Shashank, I would request you to do this because what you are saying is different from this.
I'm following the steps.
Okay, you're following the steps. Okay, so whatever digit that you got, you are now subtracting 5 from it. Okay. Now, once you have subtracted 5 from it, you got some digit, right? Some number you've got. Okay, fine. Now, suppose you've got that number is 1. So translate that number into the first alphabet, which is A. Suppose the digit that you've got is 2. Then the translation would be B for boy. Suppose the number that you got is 3. Then obviously you're going to change it to C for cat. Suppose the number that you got is 4. Then please translate that to the fourth alphabet, which is D. D for dog, right? Suppose it is E, 5, then E, like that, F. So suppose, so whatever number that you've got, please transfer that to the corresponding alphabet. Okay, Anupriya? Shashank? Okay. All right. So now that you have got a particular, alphabet after transforming this, so you might have got A, B, C, D, E, F. I don't know whichever number that you've got, you would have got that particular corresponding alphabet. Now, what I want you people to do is that once you replace that, so please, think about a name of a country using that particular alphabet. You would have got, after you translated, that 1 is to A, 2 is to B, 3 is to C, or D is to, 4 is to D, or 5 is to E, 6 is to F, or whatever, your number would have been. So whatever alphabet that you people got, please think a name of a country which starts with that particular alphabet. Okay? Right? So whatever, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, whatever that you have got, please translate that to a name of a country. Okay. Now, how much did we deduct? We had deducted 5 earlier, right? So similar on the same lines, if you convert 5 into the corresponding alphabet, so obviously you will all again get A, B, C, D, E, F something, like, don't say that, but you will get something. Some alphabet you will get once you convert the 5 into the corresponding alphabet, right? Now think about an animal with that particular, alphabet which you translated. So you already have a country with you. I now want to translate the 5 to the corresponding alphabet, and A, B, C, D, E, whatever that you get after you transfer the 5 into that alphabet. With that particular alphabet, starting with that alphabet, think about a name of an animal. Don't tell me that, just think about it. Right? Correct, Shashank? All right. So now you've got an animal and you also got a country. All of us would have got a country and all of us would have got an animal. Right? Correct? Okay. All right. Super. All right. So now the point is, the question that I want to ask is, Shashank, what is your elephant doing in Anupriya's Denmark? So you have to unmute and tell me. Anupriya, please unmute. So Shashank, what's your elephant doing at Anupriya's Denmark?
No, I thought of an eagle and not an elephant.
Eagle is a bird. It's not an animal. I said animal.
Then I had to Google animals without an elephant in it.
So what do you think, Anupriya? Is it Denmark?
I thought of Denmark first, and then I thought, nahi, Dominique theek hai, wo better rahega. That's because we caught the trick.
Right. Superb. So anyway, so whatever that you knew, this is a little different from that. But the trick is that, yes, the answer would be same. But if you do it with an audience, who are not aware of this, they'll go bonkers, ki kaise kiya, kyun hua. It's all about, how are you presenting it and how the masti is coming up. So again, another method of, engaging people. And this, you can do it online also. You can do this online also. You can do this offline also. Very beautiful way of engaging your audience.
Now, interesting part. So, and that comes to a very interesting question for me. Now, what happened to us, right? People started saying that, oh, I have done this and I know this. And this happens in our offline training also. The moment we kind of introduce a particular activity, we have already done this. So how do you manage this situation?
Right. So it has happened with me earlier also, wherever, mainly in offline sessions, wherein I have thought about a particular, activity or a game. And then when I'm, introducing that game and the audience come back and says, sir, humko to ye pata hai, humko aata hai. Right? And you're like zapped, right? Ye to pata hai. Then what is the backup do I have? I need to change the game now because these people are aware of that particular game. Right. So one method is what I displayed right now, checking with people whether they are aware of the way that you are facilitating. Then obviously there has to be a little bit of difference, which was there in this game also. Although whatever these people said is correct, the answer was similar, but again, it's on the presentation that, how you're presenting and how it is different and how you're bringing in that element of surprise into it. Or at times what happens is you should have few things in your mind of what are the different kind of activities, and this will come in your preparation. Why? Because suppose you have thought of a particular activity and you have announced it and you see that people are already aware of it. So very quickly you have to change into a different activity. Otherwise, if you don't change, people will say that ye to aata hai hame, ye to pata hai hame. Now this transition of this change also have to have very happen very seamlessly. Otherwise, people will make out that you are actually changing. So you have to think about what kind of similar kind of activities can be transitioned. Like for example, we know this. There is this game wherein people are standing in a round formation and everyone is holding their hands, and there's this which we call a fish or a fisherman kind of a thing. So there's this game, wherein you're holding hands and there is a circle made, and there's some people who are fish and some people are fishermen, and you're doing that activity. So suppose people are saying that okay, we are aware kind of thing. So very subtly you can say that okay, no, although it is fish and fisherman, but there is a twist to it. Now think about some other activity which also happens in a similar manner, wherein people are holding hands and they are standing in a circle. So there are many such activities where you have the similar kind of thing. So there's another one which is called thinking out of the box, wherein you're actually holding people coming, they're standing in a circle, and you're asking them to turn 180 degrees. So what are you actually doing? The formation is all the same. People are standing in the same manner, but you're changing the game from one place to another place. So obviously people can't make out that you have actually changed, but you're coming up with a different new game. So every game will have a structure. Every game will have a formation of people. Either there are groups, or there is a one single group, or you've given them some activity. So you have to think what one thing is common between two different games, and you can take that one common thing and then change over. So people can make out that you are actually changed over. So people will think, "Arey, ye to pata nahi tha, ye to naya cheez hai." So for that, you have to practice, and you also have to have a kitty of some games and activities ready before you are actually going to a particular place. Because it might happen that people have done that particular game or activity earlier. So those commonalities will actually help you at times.
So basically what you're trying to say is that we have to sit and analyze the games that you're doing, and also think of a parallel games that can go with that particular activity which you've already planned. That is
Right.
something.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Now, another thing I would like to ask you now, this is obviously activity based. So this is about the activity, but going back to yesterday when we were talking about time and we were talking about Tony Robbins and that 1 hour. Now, how do you actually plan a session? So if I'm doing if I'm doing a 2-hour online session, or if I'm doing an 8-hour offline session, how do we go about planning this entire session? How do I plan my facilitation? I'm sure others would know, but others can also pitch in if they want.
So,
How do
so
you?
let us hear it from
Yeah.
others, and then I can
Right,
come up
right.
with what I do.
Right. So how do you plan the session? What is your methodology of planning a 2-hour online session or an 8-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour offline session? How do you plan? What is the strategy that you do? In case you're doing sessions, I'm sure all of you are planning to take sessions today or tomorrow, or already taking sessions. How do you go about planning your session?
See, in online sessions, every 20 minutes, we have to break and have an activity.
Yeah. So how do you plan? So that is okay. So now let's say you have a 2 hours. So before even going into the session, what is the structure of planning that you do with your content? So we talked about content. We talked about certain delivery styles. We talked about certain online. Now, what I'm trying to understand is that how would you plan? Because before even if you go to that session, what is the strategy that you would do? How would you do the program outflow? How would you do your program planning? So one is your program outline or a content. So once you have developed the content, then how would you plan to deliver it?
Time,
online as well as offline.
time it.
Yeah. So how
Each
do you
one we
time it?
have to see
Okay.
if I'm, see, maybe I can divide the whole session into 4 parts, 4
Mhm.
modules or something, whatever be the time. Even if it is a 2-hour session, maybe I can divide it into 4 parts and then time it. Like this first introduction and the first part of it should be 20 minutes, whereas the middle part, which is going to be very important, wherein I'm going to stress, I can give more time, maybe 40 minutes. Like that, I can time the modules.
How do you come up with that time? How would you decide that time? That this one I would spend 15 minutes on basis of what? 15 minutes of doing what? Or 20 minutes of doing what? I hope my question is clear, right? I mean,
Yes,
I've been
yes.
able to make myself clear what I'm trying to understand out here. So
That in
how do you plan that? So let's say you have 4 modules for 2 hours. And you're saying for the first, I will spend 15 minutes, next 20. So 20 minutes on basis of what? Is it the content? Is it the delivery? Is it the participants? Is it the type of uh, or kind of how would you even plan the delivery? How would you time it?
I have to divide time for everything. First, I have to present, and then if there is an activity related to that, I have to give some time. And then if they have any doubts or something, I have to give time. And at the end of the session, maybe I have to give some buffer time for them to ask questions, and I give them the answers. And the last part of it would be 15 minutes of question and answers. Something like that I can plan.
Okay, okay. Anybody else? Anupriya, Sashanka, would like to share anything?
I do a lot of workshop with kids on creative writing. So the initial, so if you were to, if it's a 1 hour session, the initial 15 minutes are icebreakers, 10 minutes is icebreakers. Then there's 15 minutes of concept delivery. And then there is activity and Q&A. Last 10 minutes Q&A, rest of the time is activity.
So have you ever felt, so it sounds very good in theory, but when you are actual doing sessions, has it ever happened to you that either you're really running stress for time or you're actually finishing early? Has it ever happened to you?
Not really. 1 hour is like, so because I am a little too much time conscious, I am able to manage my sessions which look like sufficient in 1 hour, or maybe 2 to 5 minutes of a stretch. Otherwise, my sessions, my presentations also, everything is like within time. So with kids, it's
So
easier.
you finish within an hour, whatever you plan to do. It's never you race for the time, right?
No.
Okay.
No, but then I get, sometimes I get caught, like it gets delayed and my sessions goes beyond the 3 hours. If it's a planned session for 3 hours, it goes beyond. Sometimes the question and answer section, or maybe I have to cut short something. It happens with me.
Okay. Shashanka, any inputs on this?
I normally keep some buffer time. Say I need to get it done an 8 hour session. I plan for around 6 hours or 7 hours. Keep some half an hour to 1 hour extra. And then say if it's getting over early, then we figure out do we introduce. I normally do it with a couple of people depending upon the content, but I keep some buffer time for sure.
Batu, you would like to share your points out here? How do you plan the session?
If I have to talk about planning, then first of all, as yesterday I mentioned about, uh, how do we segregate in terms of preparation, which I mentioned yesterday, right? On designing the content and doing research and everything. Now, if I have to give a particular time distribution, suppose it's a 2-hour session, okay, or maybe if I have to talk about offline also, because nowadays slowly offline is also coming up. So suppose it's a full day kind of a session. So full day session is around 8 hours, but we don't deliver for 8 hours. Why? Because there would be around 40-45 minutes of lunch break.
Lunch break, 2 tea
There,
breaks.
yeah, 2 tea breaks. So approximately 1.5 hour is gone. right? And at times there are people who would take a 1 hour lunch break. So in that case, 1.5 hour is gone because 15 minutes, 2 tea breaks. So suppose, 1.5 hour is gone. So from 8 hours, if 1.5 hour is gone, then you are left with around, 6.5 hours. Now, out of 6.5 hours, you can leave that half an hour for introductions and other things, because normally in a classroom session, there are approximately 20 odd people, 20, 25 people. So if you have to do a proper introductions and self-introduction and, do some activities or anything, first half an hour is gone that way. So how much are you left with? You're left with 6 hours. So if you're left with 6 hours, then you have to think, how much do I spend on the content in terms of my delivery? How much people are going to talk about? How much time am I going to spend on the activity and the games? So basically what I'm saying, if it's an 8 hour session, 2 hours gone. आपके पास delivery के लिए 6 घंटा है. Now there is another rule which says 60-40. Now what is the 60-40 rule? As a facilitator, we are supposed to talk for 40% of the entire time. And we need to engage our audience and make them talk for the balance 60%. The facilitator should talk less because he's facilitating, he's engaging people. So he should facilitate the discussion and other things from others. So 40% yourself speaking and 60% what audience is speaking. So what is 40% of 6 hours? 40% of 6 hours is approximately 2 hours to 2.5 hours kind of thing, right? 50% would be 3 hours. So 40% would be around 2.5 hours is what I can say. So out of 6 hours, if 40% is supposed to be yours, you are talking. That means in the entire full day 8 hours, 2.5 hours is what you are supposed to talk. So if 2.5 hours you are supposed to talk, then how much should be your content? So are you trying to understand the way that I'm formulating it? So if I'm doing this equation in terms of 8 hours, same is the case for 2 hours. And then, percentage wise, you have to reduce it accordingly. Now, the balance 60% that I'm talking about, where, you are going to engage with the people. How are you going to fill up that? It is quite natural that 60%, people will not talk that much. They might talk for 20%, 30%. So what happens to the balance, almost 30%, which is approximately 1.5 hours? What do you do then? That 1.5 hours is about all your activities and other things. So then you have to time your activities. If I'm doing a particular activity, how long will it take? Will it take 15 minutes? Will it take 20 minutes? Is there a debriefing after that? So if there is a debriefing, it might take another 5 minutes. Do I have a question answer session? If I have a question answer session, how much time do I keep it for? Another 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, right? So these are the components that you're going to take into account while you are thinking about, designing a particular or planning for a particular program.
And also it depends on the audience size, the audience type, and the audience section. If you have an audience who is smart enough, there'll be some activities they will do it very fast. And if the audience is at that or not at that level, then maybe the activities might take a bit longer. So once you understand the audience, the segment that you're kind of delivering, same both online and offline, right? And so that's where also you need to. So when we talk about planning a session, this is what I was trying to understand, is that this timing part is very important. How do you plan the timing, plan the session? And what he was talking about, multiple activities, backup activities. Now, what happens if you finish early? If you suddenly at 4 o'clock or 4:30, you suddenly see that, your content is gone because people were not asking much questions. They were dumb. They were not talking. You could not make them speak much. And by 4:30, you are done. And then what do? You have nothing to talk about. So then what do? What backup? What is your backup? Everybody is on mute.
Additional activities.
Okay, you can have additional activity if you can carry. So Partho carries a lot of balls and newspapers.
content also in buffer. Always have some content in buffer.
Okay, some content in buffer. Yes.
We can
And
have
the
a
best,
recap.
yes, you can have a recap, right? Absolutely. So all these things you can have. The best thing that I do, and Partho also does, is that get them into actionables. So give them chart papers and tell them that what all. So do a stop, start, change, continue. Put a collage. Give some newspapers. Let them put and let them present. The moment you tell them to present and do something, your 1.5 hours is more or less covered somewhere or the other. Avik, you have something to share?
No, I want Partho to share that incident when the opposite thing happened. No? The timing thing totally went haywire. I think he was doing it for an industrial plant, some industrial training. The timing totally went for a toss, and how he had to kind of reshuffle. And yet,
So then you
that
have to
you are the
start
yes,
half day.
exactly, half a day.
Right. So,
So,
it's good that Avik, you said. So I'll quickly share that incident. So that it was for a, industry, for a factory location, and initial all discussions and everything happened. So I visited their plant, I visited their office, and the entire course outline and everything was done. So it was an 8 hours program, and the HR was very, very clear on aap kitna activities kar rahe hain, kitna kya ho raha hai. I went to their plant to see, which are the areas that I can use for, doing activities and everything. So all permissions and everything were taken, because in a plant location, you cannot just roam around just like that in any place. So everything done. So the session was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. Sorry, 9:30. So as trainers, we normally reach around half an hour, 40 minutes ago.
Early, yeah.
Early we reach. And this was actually a little far away location, okay? And I was also not very sure that Ola Uber will go up to that place, because nowadays Ola Uber also has this outstation kind of thing. So I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago when this outstation was not there. So they used to go to only a particular region, otherwise beyond that they'll not go. So I was also not very sure, whether they will go to that place or not. So I was keeping some 1 hour kind of buffer I kept. That kuch gadbad bhi hoga idhar udhar, I should have some extra time so that I can reach. So I got up early, and by 8:30 I reached. So I had 1 hour extra with me. So when I reached and this factory gate was closed, so I called up the HR person that I have already reached. Hurry, aap pahunch gaye itna jaldi? I said, no, I just have to plan up things. And yes, I just came. Okay, fine. One of his security ko bola, and then he allowed me inside. So I went inside. So when I went inside, things were there, all those things were there. And I was looking at, where should I do the activity. And so I was just trying to set up the projector and everything to keep myself ready and all those things. So it was around 9:15, 9:20. Okay. So I was just looking outside, now maybe they are arriving. Maybe now they are arriving. Okay. So at 9:20, I thought it's time I should call up them. So I called up the HR manager once again. So she said, oh, we are so sorry, because these people are all placed in the, different locations. So we have hired a bus. So the bus is actually going to different, hotels and everything, because we could not get so many, rooms and all those things available. So, and this is in the town. Okay. And I am almost 40 kilometers away from the town, because in the plant. So they are saying that the bus is picking up. The first hotel is already done. So we already picked up 10 people. Another 40, 45 people, we are picking them up. This is at 9:20. Where? In the town. The town is 40 kilometers away. So I understood that 11 baje se pehle to kuch hone wala nahi hai. Right? And I was sitting there at 9:20. So I asked the HR person that, how long do you think it is going to take? No, I'm coming. I'll be there within half an hour's time. I said, then my audience I'm talking about. And aa rahe, sabko aa rahe. Aapko coffee mila ki nahi, ye nahi mila ki nahi, and all those things. So I relaxed. I said, samajh mein aa gaya. So then I started thinking, okay. So I was supposed to start at 9:30 and end the program by around 5 o'clock. Now I know that I will not be able to start before 11 o'clock. So my almost 1.5 hours is gone. So I started thinking that, okay, how do I devise myself so that, I can, what all I can curtail and what all I can squeeze in, so that, I can make that 1.5 hours, I can make it up. So I was thinking, and then I had chalked out few things. So I was hiding few slides and, trying to see that how I can do those things. So at 11:15, I find no one. So I again call up. So when I called up the HR person, so HR person, I found that she had entered the premises and she was running. पहुंच गई पार्थो जी पहुंच गई. So I looked at the watch, 11:15. I said, लोग कहाँ है? नहीं बस हो गया है, बस निकल चुका है. I said, कब निकल चुका है? No, don't worry. I'm so sorry. You can understand, getting people and all those things are so difficult and all that. Don't worry. Another 15-20 minutes, they're coming. Right? So one bus came at around 1:45. Right? And that had around 20 odd people. So they said, okay, आप लोग settle हो जाओ, breakfast ready है, आप लोग खाना चाहते हो खा चाहे at 1:45. So खाना कर लो. And they said, पार्थो जी आप भी कुछ खाना वाना खा लीजिए. And there's another bus coming, so we will another 10-15 minutes we'll have the full house. What time? 1 o'clock. I was supposed to start the session at 9:30. I said, what is going here? How do you expect me to do this program? आप कुछ कर लीजिए sir. So I said, कुछ कर लीजिए money. Okay, now the admin person comes and says, sorry to tell you, initially it was told to you that we will wind up by 5 o'clock, but there are some people who have got their train tickets earlier, so you'll have to wind up by 3:30, sir.
Yes.
At 1 o'clock they are saying that you have to wind up by 3:30, and we have not started at 1 o'clock. I said, why are you serving breakfast? Give them lunch now. It's already 1 o'clock. Let us finish the lunch, because don't ask me to give a lunch break in between. Then I'm going to run now, because if you so what time can we start? So finally at 1:20 I started, right? And I was told that 3:30 I have to finish it off, because they've got trains and everything to catch. So how much time did I get? Approximately 2 hours. So then I was completely zapped. How do I squeeze this 8 hours program, or suppose 6 hours program, even if I remove those things, into 2 hours? And even if you're doing an activity, उससे पहले तो समा मांगना है, you have to make things and tell them and create that entire ambience so that you can take them to that particular activity. But से थोड़ी activity होता है. You have to create something, right? And then there is a debriefing after that. So everything went for a toss. So, but then what happened was I quickly tweaked some activities together, and I clubbed some activities together. So initially I had 7-8 different activities. So I thought maybe I'll pick up just 3 activities from there, and then I clubbed those 3 activities together. So then I spent approximately 15 minutes of to pave into the activity. Did around 20 minutes of activity, which was a summation of 3 different activities, and then I did a lot of debriefing for them to understand the crux of the meeting. Right? What is the learning coming from this? So that I made them speak and all those things. So a good point that Avik, that you mentioned about this. And then at around 3:15, the admin person comes and says, "Sir, आप तो 3:30 बजे खत्म करें. We also have a prize distribution. So can you please wind up within the next 2 minutes? Because we have 15 minutes time. We have prize distribution. So 3:30 बजे सब चले जाएंगे." So any which way, so I had to do it because I had no other point. But by that time, I had almost summarized and driven out the entire thing. So what I'm trying to tell here is that you might land up with such kind of things sometimes.
Yes.
When you are prepared with something and you go there and something else happens. But then people were so thrilled, people were so excited with those activities and other things and the derivations that I did, to make them understand the crux of that particular thing and the learnings. And I also did this action points and everything. It was a gaga kind of a thing, and they wanted me to replicate that program once again in different places, which again I got a repeat order also. But the repeat order next time, it was fine. It was a full day program. So this time, they were also very, very cautious about not, making those mistakes and everything. But the point which I'm trying to make here is that it is very difficult to, synchronize your thought and be calm, because calm is the point. Because I was getting irritated from inside, but I was keeping a complete calm. कुछ भी हो जाए चेहरे पे मुस्कान, right? And and the thing which I was trying to tell Anupriya yesterday, that अंदर में कुछ भी हो रहा है, बाहर में you act as if nothing has happened, because they were coming and telling me आपके लिए तो बहुत दिक्कत होता होगा, how do you do this? I said, no, nothing. I know what your expectations are. I'll meet it, not an issue. And constantly I was rethinking that how do I do this? How do I do that? And finally it worked, and they enjoyed it. And that's why the reason, I got a repeat program also from them. Otherwise, अगर वो मैं ढंग से नहीं कर पाता तो फिर वो मजा भी नहीं आता. And maybe, they wouldn't have given me a repeat program. So thanks, Avik, for bringing that up. So the point which is very clear is that preparation, understanding of the content, and I have seen there are a lot of trainers who, outsource the content, and then, later on try to deliver on that. If you are not prepared, it gets very much difficult. And at times, if you are in a freelancing kind of a thing, the content is given by someone else. So then it becomes very difficult because, it's not your content. But then if you have to do it, then you have to spend a lot of time in preparation, because it's not your content. So you are not aware of, how things are going to be or how the flow is. And for that, what I do, as I mentioned day before yesterday, that I use 2-3 devices. So I have my desktop on my top and my laptop niche, so that, I can look under what is if it is my content, then I know what is the next slide. If it is someone else's content, then I need to see what is there in the next slide. And accordingly frame my sentences and accordingly about that. So yes, that's how this delivery and everything. And today, we have spent a lot of time in understanding the content part, the PowerPoint part, and also how you can imbibe things in a much more better way, so that delivery happens in a much more good way, engaging audience in a much more better way, some games and other things. And Abhirup also has another great, what we call Jaane se pehle moment with him. So he's going to disclose that now. That what Jaane se pehle is, he's going to, that we call this balloon burst. So what is it that he's trying to burst with a Jaane se pehle kind of an activity, which is also an engaging activity and can be done to engage your audience, again with a lot of fun and a lot of thrill and everything. Right? Okay, yeah. Over to
Okay, so who is more or less aware of playing cards? Sashanka, are you more or less aware of playing cards? Like the colors and the numbers and all?
Yeah.
You're aware? Okay, so are you ready to volunteer?
Sure.
Great. So what I will do, I'm sending a private message to Anupriya. So Anupriya, so please keep that message to yourself. Please don't disclose. And so you just nod your head once you have received my message. Okay. So have you received my message? Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I have written something to Anupriya, and let's see how this thing works. Okay. Now, Shashanka, how many total number of cards are there in a pack?
52.
Very good. And how many sets are there?
4.
4 sets. What are the sets? Can you tell us?
Heart, diamond, spade, and club.
Heart, diamond, spade, and club. Very good. Now, what I want you to do, Shashanka, out of heart, spade, diamond, and club, right? That's what you said, right? Heart, spade, diamond, and club. I want you to choose 2 and throw away 2. So which 2 would you choose?
I choose heart and spade.
Heart and spade. So which are the 2 that you threw away?
Diamond and club.
Diamond and club. Amazing. Now from this 2, diamond and club, which you threw away, I want you to choose 1. Which one would you choose?
Diamond.
Diamond. So which one did you throw away?
Club.
Club you threw away. Okay, awesome. Now out of this club that you threw away, now how many total number of cards are there in a set? Like total number of cards?
In a set, 13.
13 cards, right? What are those?
1 to 10, jack, 1 to 9, jack, queen, king, and ace.
1 to 10, sorry, 2 to 10, then ace, jack, king, and queen. Great.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, out of this 13 of the clubs that you have, I want you to choose 6 and throw away 7. Which 6 would you choose?
I keep all the face cards, and
What
I
are those?
ace, king, queen, jack.
Ace, king, queen, jack.
And how many do I have to keep?
You have to keep 6.
And I'll choose 4 and 5 apart from these.
Okay. So you chose ace, king, queen, jack, 4 and 5, right? This is what you chose. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, out of the 6 that you chose, what I want you to do, I want you to keep 3 and throw away another 3. Which 3 would you keep? Out of ace, king, queen, jack, 4 and 5. Which, yeah.
I'll keep 4, 5 and queen with me. I'll throw away the other 3.
4, 5, and queen. Super. So you kept 4, 5, and queen, and you threw away the rest of the 3. Now, out of this 3, 4, 5, and queen, I want you to choose 2. Rather, I want you to choose 1. Choose 2 and throw away 1. Which one would you throw? Choose 2 and throw away 1.
I'll throw away 5.
So which one did you choose? 4 and queen, right?
Yes.
Great. Now, out of this 4 and queen, which one would you choose out of this 4 and queen? Which one would you choose and which one would you throw away? Out of this 4 and queen, which one would you choose and which one would you throw away?
I'll choose 4. I'll throw away queen.
Okay, so which one did you choose?
4.
And what is that thing? It was clubs of 4.
Yes.
And what did I write, Anupriya? Clubs of 4, right?
You muted, you muted.
Yes, clubs of 4.
What did happen? So what did I do right now?
I think.
You somehow guided me to 4.
So was it I was reading your mind?
So, Avirup, you predicted before only, huh?
I'm ready.
Huh? You could predict that Shashanka is trying to land up with clubs of 4 only. And that's why you could give the clubs of 4 to Anupriya. Huh?
So,
How are you reading minds like this?
it's a very basic communication exercise. It is nothing to do with magic. I'm not reading minds. So what I just did, I just asked certain questions for you to lead you to the answer which I want you to lead to, right? So it's basically negotiation, communications. When you do sessions on negotiation, communications. So this particular activity, clicks with people. Amazing. In an offline, we do a lot of drama. In online, also, I did kind of drama, whatever little I had to do. Okay. Now, yeah. So that's how it works. So it's basically I was just asking you. So the moment you chose, you threw away clubs and spades. So I said, okay, one you threw away. Let's choose one. So, but then after that, you were pretty comfortable with me. Otherwise, there are some where you really struggle, because they will keep throwing the club 4 away and you have to keep bringing that club 4 back. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that you guided me back when you changed the order of my deck. I started with heart, diamond, spade, and club, and you made it heart, spade, diamond, and club. So there it was pretty clear that you changed my order, but I was like, okay, let's see where it goes.
Yeah. So it's basically a communication. So in negotiation, this is a very interesting activity which you can do. So what we did today was entire online activity through tools, where we showed you certain tools. We also showed you certain activities without tools, where, if there are audiences who are not comfortable with tech, they're not very tech savvy, still you can engage your audience through various activities in online. So that's exactly what we tried to demonstrate through various activities, discussions that we did. I hope you people, got some inputs from today's session and you enjoyed today's session. We, try to make it as lively as possible. So great. So we finished day 3. Wow. So we have one more day to go tomorrow. And tomorrow we will cover a very interesting topic. One is TNI. We will talk about a bit about delivery. And then we will talk about how you can actually build your personal brand, how you can sell your program, how you can create a program. So this is something which we will talk a bit in details about how you can do all these things and much more. And we will also have a group. Okay. So, right.
What
Right.
about
So,
homework?
and do,
Homework?
sorry.
Yesterday's homework?
Okay. Yes. So yesterday we had a YouTube video homework. I'm sure nobody got the time to do, but do that. But tomorrow you have to do the homework because tomorrow homework is very easy. The tomorrow's homework is you have to prepare an elevator pitch for 40 seconds, right? So I'll give you 45 seconds. So in 45 seconds, you have to prepare an elevator pitch. Now, what exactly is an elevator pitch?
And we can ask Avik to give a demo.
Okay, we'll give it. No, Avik will give the demo tomorrow because I'm sure he'll come tomorrow.
No,
So
no, for others to understand what is an elevator pitch.
No, let me explain. So elevator pitch is a pitch that you talk about yourself in an elevator where you are talking to someone who's very, 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 very important to you and you want to create that impact. So that's that 45 seconds from first floor to 10th floor, 11th floor. That time that you get is 30 to 45 seconds. And that's when you meet that person and how you introduce yourself. That's what is an elevator pitch. So I would want all of you to prepare that. We will hear it tomorrow. We'll hear it from Avik. Avik has a very, very nice and interesting elevator pitch. Do come in tomorrow, Avik, please. Just for this elevator pitch, okay? And we'll also talk to you about the structure, how you can actually, obviously you people will do great, I'm sure, but also we'll talk about how you can structure the elevator pitch and how you can make it better, right? So that's all from today. Thank you so much. Have a great, great night. Sweet dreams. Good night. And see you people, everyone, tomorrow, same time.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.